Again, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. We're joined now by Auburn men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl. Coach, I think you guys were just practicing down in San Antonio. You got a big game tomorrow against the Florida Gators. And I'll get to that in a sec, but I wanted to give you a chance. We got the biggest radio show in the country here, and I was really impressed with what you said after your team made the Sweet 16. You used it as a platform to call for the return of the hostages still being held by Hamas. How much does that mean to you? How much do you think, given the attention on your team, that can have an impact?
Well, Clay, great to be with you and Buck. And I don't know. You're walking down the hallway after you just won a big game. You're on your way to the Sweet 16, and so you're talking to God and thanking Him for the blessing. And He just reached out to me. He said, "Hey, remember who you are. Remember where you came from." And for some reason, the name Edon Alexander just came to my mind. And I asked the players, guys, would you mind if I started off this press conference without taking anything away from what we've done and remind the country that there's still an American alive, still held hostage by Hamas. And it is wrong. And, Coach, they're like, "Coach, call it out. Call it out." And then one of the players is from Jersey. Said, "Coach, he's from Jersey." And so we did, and Clay, I can't tell you how much it meant to so many people, but more than anybody, the hostages and their families. So his dad reached out to me, D, and his brother Roy, and said, "Coach, thank you." I said, "What? Thank you for what?" And he said, "We just, we're in prayer. We're hoping any day now." I said, "Guys, you're not alone. You're not alone." And hopefully President Trump is putting the kind of pressure on these terrorists to bring these hostages home. It's their only chance right there. Free the hostages, and there can be a ceasefire, and the death and killing can stop.
You have used your platform to call for peace and for people of different religions to get along. How much does it feel like? I know you got a big game against Florida, and I know you're busting your ass, and your team is, and your coaches are, to get ready for that. But how much does it feel like your team is fueled by something bigger than just the pursuit of basketball excellence?
100%, Clay. You're an SEC guy, okay? Auburn basketball going to its second Final Four in the last 5 years, winning 5 league championships in 8 years. Come on, man. You can't explain that. Only one way to explain it. It's a God thing. It's a blessing. And with that comes a level, of responsibility. And I think people of faith, they encouraged to hear it. We are a silent majority. And so, yes, we're going to give God the glory and victory and defeat. And it just encourages other young people to talk to the Lord, like Dylan Cardwell, one of my players. We knocked down a 3, and the guys are putting kind of phone up to their ear, and they're saying, "We're calling God." And then with that comes responsibility to also behave and act the way He would have you act. So you sort of embrace and you embody those things. It helps your teams be successful. And then as far as my faith and religion is concerned, I just try to bring people of faith together. Abraham is the father of all nations. And I try to, really so grateful for my Christian friends who embrace Jesus as a rabbi and a Messiah and a Son of God, but living his entire life in Israel as a Jewish man. If that doesn't bring us together, I don't know what does.
Coach, a lot of people out there listening, rooting for you. Can anybody beat Duke?
Yeah, Florida or Auburn or Houston can beat Duke. Clay, I've said that I think Florida's the best team right now. I've said it for a couple of months. We can beat them, but we gotta. Walter Clayton is a great guard, and he's oftentimes the best guard on the floor. They got a couple other guards. Martin and Richard are really good. Their front line is deep. We can beat them, but we got to play great. But I think Duke has had an incredible year. The 4 best teams in college basketball are still playing for national championship, and that hasn't happened in a long, long time.
Coach Pearl, I know a lot of people are going to be rooting for you listening to the program right now. Good luck against Florida. We'll be watching. Appreciate the time. I know how busy you are.
Appreciate what you and Buck do. God
Thank
bless
you.
America. I'm Yisrael Chai and War Eagle.
That is Bruce Pearl. PrizePicks.com, code Clay, Final Four. Get your picks in. You're going to love it. PrizePicks.com, Auburn against Florida. And then you got Duke against Houston on the other side. $50 when you play $5. Great opportunity. PrizePicks.com. Code Clay. Go sign up today. That's PrizePicks.com. Code Clay.